All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here to close out our week, close out our day, of course, this Friday, February 3rd, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, this time of the day, welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. Good to go from Mark and Leda. Should be good to go across the board there, not just inside our live trading room, but across all social streams. We got Facebook Live, YouTube, we got LinkedIn, we got Twitter. Great to see Mike, Ron, Michael. We have Jeff, Mark, Leda inside our live trading room. Perfect. The HSCS trade dumping back down right now. It was holding above actually a nice level that I had on my chart early this morning. It was actually its IPO price. The stock is a relatively new IPO. So let's go over this one to begin. It's up over or near 150%. So it's just to say it's actually pretty recent over the last year. It was an IPO. Open price was right off 375. So historically, and especially with day trading, if it's the first time in a long time in which it's testing that price again, you would have to show it a lot of respect. I would expect that to be a big level. Now, does that mean it's going to blast above it and then run from there and then it could act as support later on? Or is it going to false break it? Is it going to break above it, kind of like shake back right under and then tank? Or in this case, it did try to hold over it as support, but if it's not going to make that big move that you're looking for, it's going to make a big move. Just not the move that you're looking for, the other way. So led to a big drop just now, right back down at 350. Hey, for as much as this is up, and if it's still making higher lows, perhaps there could be one more squeeze up over that 375 into the close. So I'll put this on our watch list here, the HSCS trade. And dyslexia getting in the way there. HSCS. There we go. All right. So we got HSCS and then RSLS, number 2 on the gainer side. This one's not looking nearly as good, obviously, now, but it was one from earlier this morning. I wanted to go over it briefly because it just goes to show, although some stocks make that continuated move afterwards, normally for a stock, although up in pre market, it was trending perfectly down going into the market open. So, when we see that, we're often looking at selling pressure at that point. So the question that you want to ask is what happens when we continue to see that selling pressure over time? So, it ended up leading to a little pop, got halted, ran up a little bit. It was more of a gamble stock at least, and then it pulled back down. So, let's take one look at the daily, take one look at like the historical charts here, the weekly for right now. And you could see certainly it just over time has only dropped off. So I'm sure just on various days it's made a pop here and there, but there you go. You could just tell back from maybe like a few weeks ago. I actually don't recall that, to be honest with you. So, led to a nice pop. I'm sure we had called it out then, but slipped my mind. But just goes to show, just it's not a swing trade; it's a day trade, right? And certainly now you should have been out of this trade a long time ago. All right, where's Gene? One of our longtime students here. Love when Gene's up right now, or at least was up earlier today. Led to that huge drop off there right before Fausto started the morning meeting. Just $5 million direct offering of shares. So it led to a big drop, but hey, it led to a really good squeeze after. We were calling that out, myself and Fausto, just big icebergs at 150 and at 155, namely. So ended up breaking below those levels at first, then built that support, led to a great move from that point. But at that stage, though, ended up dying off, much like a couple of the others did already, like the RSLS at least. And now at this stage, it's not looking too good. So don't try and hold on to this. If it ends up making like a 10-cent little move up, there's so many different stocks out there right now, and perhaps some good shorts. If the markets continue to pull back right now as they have been, it could set up for a pretty good, short afternoon nonetheless. So, I don't know how keen I'll be to a couple of these stocks here, like Gene or the others that we talked about. The HSCS, though, for the meantime, looks good. So that one we have on our list. Let's just go from top to bottom otherwise, or continue to, I should say. We'll just recap a couple of the moves that we had from the morning and just build up our watch list right now. ALR looks like a buyout, and pass on that. You got a cheapie here, MGTA. I reckon it ended up actually making a gap up this morning and filled the gap, at least that it had back from the end of last year. So, just made a little move here, but not too impressed right now. The BBAI, this is something to be impressed about, right? So much like AI from earlier today, BBAI, artificial intelligence company. So, that's just been one of the hot sectors of late. It led to a big squeeze up this morning, continued move up from this week and the end of last as well. So, ended up blowing the roof off of 5 or off of 450, I should say, and then eventually made the move up to 5. Right now, it still looks good, right? Trending up pretty well. Popped a new high earlier, just right around 2 p.m. So, still looking pretty good here. The BBAI trade. All right, I don't have any lines on this chart though. Let me just take a quick look on the daily or the weekly, the historicals here. You could see it looks like back from last year, 445 the low, 455, 453. So that's right. It said once it blew the roof off of that, it took off, it held it as support. Now at this point, I'll tell you, I mean, your next quote unquote historical level, if I'm going to try and just shoot from the hip quickly and save time, yeah, it could be right around 670-ish, 675. I'm just quickly seeing 714, 715 here. So I would just generally say within the vicinity of like 675 to 715 could be the next historical, meaning that there could still be some room here for this to run. Just always watch level 3 and level 4 though. And if there's any larger order that pops up or if this dies off and then we happen to see some selling kick in, that's what you need to be just mindful of, but looks pretty strong here. And if I'm going to put BBAI on our list, maybe there's room for one more trade left on AI. Maybe room for one more push on AI here. Ran up earlier. I wish it was closer to the highs right now. It has a lot of room to try and run up to the high there off of 28.48. So I don't think it will make that move personally. If it does, God bless. But even if it can make a move up to like 27 or 27.50, get pretty close there. So that would be kind of impressive. I'll put this on our list, kind of in sympathy with the other one though, the BBAI trade. Now this has been a pretty good trade so far this afternoon, and it looks like another AI company, SoundHound AI Inc. How about that? You could see it in the watermark on TradeStation's chart, right? SoundHound AI. I didn't know that until right now. Pretty interesting. So I think that's simple to say. We're going to put this on our list here too. This also, just looking at the historical here, has been pretty strong on the way up towards right around 285. 285 right there, 281, just a really strong base roughly around that 285 price. Yeah, that's actually a pretty slick looking level. So, of course, volume always trumps everything else, but it's just to say with how strong that level was, if we happen to see more and more buying off of it going into the afternoon, I'd like to think it can make a much better run. So, yeah, for right now, Sound, I'll put on our list. Getting a little squeeze up on the SPY for right now. Hopefully, it can continue to make higher lows, recover back up again. All right, is this an AI? GFAI? What do you know? Guard Force AI. Now, it's a 35-cent stock. We're not going to necessarily look to trade this here, but it's just pretty interesting. Remark Holdings. I don't know if this is AI or not. Don't really care to check. This actually looks like a really good chart. Pushing up pretty nicely right now. A couple of iceberg orders right off of $2 and $2.02. It's actually one that we're pretty familiar with, this Remark trade. I'll put this on our list here as well. TWOU, not much happening there. Nordstrom, just kind of dead. There's the AI that we talked about. That one's already on there. East is a cheapie. You got Goose. Goose is holding here near the highs, isn't it? It's kind of flat, but if this continues to hold where it is now, going into 3 o'clock, 3:15, that could lead it to make the next big push. So I don't mind slipping this on our list here as well, just kind of near the middle, maybe near the bottom, but still looks strong. Oh, actually, know what? Really quick, I'm sorry. I don't know if I caught something. Nah, never mind. I thought from the corner of my eye I saw an iceberg order right here, but I was going to comment on it if I did, but I guess not. All right, so we keep going right now, folks. Foxo, not much happening here. And to wrap up the gainer side, there's definitely a lot more that's up that proverbial 5% that we scan for, myself and Fausto. So, if there's anything that looks good, folks, just type it in early, type it in the chat board here. Then I'll just jump on the loser side right now, seeing if there's anything here. All right, so I know Fausto brought up the bill trade, dropped off at first, made this like crazy slingshot, I reckon, but now at this point, just kind of consolidating within a tighter range now. GoPro. It's typically a slow-moving trade, this GoPro. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, Firm's been making some pretty big swings of late, hasn't it? I mean, I think this is going to be the third day in a row that we're going to have this on one of our watch lists here. If anything, on the afternoon, it's been pretty volatile. Just up big, now down over 11%. So if this ends up breaking lower with the market, perhaps this could be one of those good shorts to watch. So yeah, AFRM I like. You got the GOTU dropping off. That could be a little short there. I'm not too keen to put this one on our list just yet. I never like shorting too close to the ground floor. If it's like below 5, I don't mind it, but the lower and lower you get, typically stay away from. All right, so let me know if there's anything else, folks. Looking pretty good up or down, moving with the market perhaps here. Fausto commenting on the HSCS trade, so of course that one on the top of our list already. That's kind of the star of the afternoon so far, right? Broke back over that 375 IPO price that I'd mentioned. So, hey, it might not be right now. If it is, God bless. But the more times it kind of stabs over that price, we're thinking that it can make that run. From Mark, any thoughts on FLWS? Could use more volume. As a short, yeah, I mean, this thing looks really strong as a short trend-wise, filling the gap from yesterday. Shortable on TradeStation, my platform, my broker. Yeah, I'll put this on our watch list, Mark. Looking pretty good. Maybe thin tier size on level 2, but for right now, like good spread. Definitely good call. All right, just checking any comments right now from Facebook Live, YouTube, LinkedIn as well, and YouTube if I didn't mention that, or Twitter, I should say. Got one right now, BGXX. We'll take a look. Nah, this isn't looking too good. Not looking that good there. A little bounce just recently, but it's not near the highs at all. If it makes a sudden pop out of nowhere once I finish this meeting up, then obviously we'll look to readjust. But, for right now, we'll pass. It's a Friday. Remember, it's a Friday. So we don't need to build up too big of a watch list here. Markets look like they're going to continue to slump off. So you got UPST here as well. It's down over 5%, and it's pulling back. So it could be a short, right? It could be a little close to the lows there, too. I like the Affirm trade a little bit more. Peloton, that could be one maybe. This one I'm a fan of so far. Obviously, NIO, one of my favorites. Hey, it's hard to say that this is not a good stock to follow so far this afternoon, especially if the markets drop off more, because it's like building a really nice looking Fausto flag to the downside here. So if it breaks below that support, it seems like it'd lead to a pretty good short, down over 5%. I bring it up that way because certainly the majority of our students here know that, I'm not always a sucker for NIO. You can't fall in love with the same stock all day, every day. So I really haven't been following this much at all, like today or even this week, really. So for right now, it actually looks pretty good. I'll slip this on there. And then what else we got, though, in between? Maybe Ford, down over 7%, but it's not near the lows, though. Dropped off a hell of a lot more earlier today, so it was a great short from the morning. Not expecting as much now at this point, I don't believe. Maybe we'll check out a couple more expensive trades like an AMD out there, a Coinbase out there. Not looking too great either. All right, I'll tell you, folks, I think that we're pretty much all good right now. I don't really see too much else out there that looks great. Michael calling out Pinterest here. I'm just checking the Cyber Group chat board again. Hey, it's down over 5%, so it looks pretty good. And it's at the lows. It's trying to fill the gap once more from the daily chart like one of the others. All right, so I'll slip this on here too. We're pretty familiar with Pinterest. Good call. All right, folks, so that will do for right now. Now, Rich will be on the mic from 3 to 4, folks, at least for all of us inside the live trading room. For any of us on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn, first and foremost, enjoy the weekend. If you have any questions, always feel free to shoot me a quick email. I always like to post my email at the end of each stream here, josh@ctutrading.com. And then otherwise, if you're interested in joining our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream to get yourself started. We do live audio commentary from 9:30 to 10:30 each day, and then as well from 3 to 4 Eastern each day as well. So again, just go right down to the link on the green banner below to sign up for a week. We look forward to having you join us there. And then again, for Jeff and Grant and Michael and Brian and Leda, all of us here live, Sam included. Hey, I'll be in the chat board at least up until 3:30. Hopefully a nice runner going into the close. Maybe there could be something that could pop and go against the grain. Hopefully. We'll see. All right, folks. Talk to you soon.